Hello, and thank you very much for daring to click play on this very exciting topic of selecting a CRM. It's everybody's favorite tool in the world, right? So today I'm going to talk to you about selecting a CRM. This tutorial comes from a recent CRM project I did for a friend of mine that hired me to actually find something that will work within their context because they have no real IT people or business systems people on staff. And I've actually played with a whole bunch of systems in my career, so I've got contextual information that I've got through many years of using products. I've also built, in the heydays in '96, my own little FileMaker 3-based CRM on Mac OS because nobody gave us anything to work from. And that's how I managed my customers way back when I started in the business. And I promised to try to keep this subject as entertaining as possible. We're talking about CRMs. It's not going to be easy, but I'll do my best. And I'm not sponsored by anybody. I don't recommend anybody. And nobody pays me to do this. So this is completely unbiased. Now, who is this video for? It's basically anybody that needs to deploy a CRM or upgrade from A to B. Organizations with few tools, like if you're a first time or minimalistic situation, like you're managing with your pipeline with Excel, that's bad. It's time for you guys to go through this process and find tools that will relieve some tasks from your schedule and get more done out of your day. If you're an executive decision maker, non-IT, you're in the startup world, or you're just curious, I happen to be one of the curious ones, stick around. You may enjoy this, even though it's CRMs, and you may accidentally learn something. So, what is a CRM? A CRM is a customer relationship management piece of software, not to be confused with SFA, which stands for Salesforce Automation. Both terms are commonly used interchangeably, but from a more dictionary point of view, Salesforce Automation is a part of a CRM, not the CRM. CRM will be your customer lifecycle management process. You want to manage your marketing campaigns and activities from there. You want to automate your sales stuff and manage your pipelines and close deals. You want to fulfill your deals and pass that through operations. You want to do some customer service, and you want to also tie this up to your e-commerce platform because they all talk to the same customers, inventory. You see where I'm getting at. So it's that kind of the glue that will keep that life, that's not that life, but that relationship going with your customer base. So it's a people thing. And here's the thing about CRMs. They fail when people don't like them. Exactly. It was that hard, but it's really hard to make them like it. So people, individuals, your peers, your employees, your bosses are creatures of habit. New doesn't mean good. Change means bad because learning's not fun. I don't have time for this crap in my day, right? So that's one thing you have to keep in the back of your mind at all times. Secondly, creating buy-in is critical. And by creating buy-in, the decision makers of the company, the execs, need to buy into this, and they need to buy into using it. Because if upstairs doesn't use it, downstairs won't use it. And focus on user benefits. Faster, simpler, better, do more with less are really cool things, and try to quantify them. As in, we will process leads faster so they will fall in your pipeline automatically, and you'll get a report every day of people you need to follow up with, and So it's like, make them feel they're going to gain something out of this. The majority of your users are going to be sales. You have to make them understand that they will sell more, make more money, faster, quicker, right? It's always utopia, but let's do our best. Who are you is the other question. And what's your business sector? Where do you live in? Are you a car dealership, a medical research facility? It's important to start with there, and you'll see why later. How big is your business? Business objectives and ambitions, geography. Do you have remote and mobile employees? What are your needs? What are you trying to achieve? Where are your economies of scale that you're looking for? Are your business processes mapped? And if they're not, do it. And what's your level of tech savviness? And that's why I got into this consulting gig to select a CRM and build it up, because they had nobody that understood business systems. And what's your budget? Really important as usual. And who will actually use this? And these are your users that you want to focus the most on. Now, get those answers before you move forward, because we want to guarantee success, and you'll need to know all that before we go anywhere. Last but not least, where are your customers, sorry, not your customers, but your employees screaming? Where and when, at what? Do catalog those things. Ask them. It's really important because they're the ones using it. Now, defining your needs. Do you have anything in place, or is your information living in multiple systems in parallel? I like the one ring to rule them all approach, because at the end of the day, if you have a central information database that will control the information in all the other systems, you normalize data and you stop chasing things in systems. You want to manage all those business objectives, and your CRM should be there to help you manage your business objectives, and not the other way around. I've seen crazy things over the years. Your marketing campaigns, your sales quotas and forecasts, your order processing, your customer service, data analytics and reporting. These are really important things that you need to define of what you want to do so you can grow your business. And what is taking forever? Is getting an order out of the door 2 steps or 24 steps, right? Exactly. So defining your needs. The CRM should match your business processes as much as possible. We're in human realm, and your tech investments, because you don't want to rebuy a whole bunch of things, right? If you find a CRM that doesn't work with your existing systems, not good. Involve the business unit leaders, because they're going to be the ones living with you in this. And yeah, I even go down to finance and accounting, because they're the ones billing what you sell and what you fulfill. So you want to make sure everybody's involved, aware, and everybody's aligned. If a group wishes to keep a specific tool and not centralize everything into a CRM, that's cool as well, right? If your marketing team lives and die by MailChimp, find a CRM that works with MailChimp. That's one example. And who's going to be the leader, the champion, the happy candidate that runs the project? Well, that person runs the project, and you're going to dedicate this person to have the authority as well on top of the responsibility to run this forward. That person needs to be enabled. Why would an individual want to do this? You can get product certifications. It's an internal opportunity, and you can possibly get a bonus or pay raise, So make this interesting for a person to step up to the plate and take over this role. It doesn't, how can I put this? CRM admins don't always have a happy time, but make it interesting. So office and mobile, because we all work from many places around the world. We're in this post-pandemic situation where the work from home, part-time, full-time is the new normal. So you want to make sure that whatever you select has a mobile interface. Your mobile sales force, your support people, your service delivery people, etc., need to be able to access this on their phone. Expect your users to work from everywhere, and if voice communications are important, look for a CRM that supports voice integration or built-in voice telephony. That's something that can be really cool. And personally, I lean towards cloud-based solutions, because that's one less worry to manage in the office, because it's one less thing that you manage, so you can spend human cycles elsewhere that will bring more value. Do you outsource your email to Google or Microsoft or another similar system, or do you run it in-house? That'll give you a towel. And team management by objectives, report quotas. I bring that there because the way we manage employees has changed. So spying in your employees from your office window is not as accessible as it used to. So make sure your CRM reflects that need to have monitoring abilities for activities. But on the flip side of the coin, you need to adjust and manage by objectives, right? You're going to have to trust people to work from home. Make sure that you can encode some objectives or metrics in your CRM to actually figure out if they've made, if your employees have done what they need to do. Like if I'm a appointment setting salesperson, I need to dial up, let's say 80 people a day. That's an easy report to get, right? I don't see you, but I can get the report. I'll trust you. So while you're selecting your CRM add-on, there's some cool things you can do with a CRM. I go like, oh, let's get excited about CRMs. Proposal management, e-signatures, and payments is such a cool thing. I love this stuff to no end. If I send you a quote, there's a big green button. Yeah, I'm interested. Let's do this. And process signature, payment, if it's insta sale and not a net 30, net 45, whatever situation, more of a B2C situation, and build everything in. You're gonna shorten every step as part of your that are part of your operations, and you're gonna save time and money. Again, I'm going back on telephony communications. Built into our integration, the project I worked on, that was an important thing for that organization to have that ability to record phone calls, to go back and make sure that this and this and this was done type situation. It's a culture thing. Not for or against it. It depends of who you are, what kind of business you're in, and when you call your bank, right, they're going to record your phone call. It's common practice. Depending of what you do, you may want to look at making sure that this works in the CRM. And one thing that has come to light in the last few years a lot more is sales and data enrichment tools. So if you want to prospect this company, you get access to names, emails, phone numbers, and all that stuff without having to Google for hours to find this person's email. There are services that you can actually plug into CRMs that will do that for you. Automations. Automation into your own system, but also other systems. So when you process an order, boom, go to the next step, send the data to the other system, and the project manager gets, bing, new project, etc. We want to save steps. We want to enable our peers, our employees, to actually go out and be as efficient as possible. Social information and marketing. If your audience communicates with your Salesforce with WhatsApp, integrate WhatsApp in your CRM. And those kind of situational discussion points. Email marketing is a classic. Social marketing as well. If you can add that to the CRM, if it makes sense for your business, look into it. Post sales. I come from the enterprise space, so post sales is really important. Enable your post sales teams to deliver the goods. Really, it's the same customer database, right? Let's concentrate everything in one place. Now that you've embarked joyfully into selecting a CRM and you have your leader and you define what you need, what you think you need, and all that information, who's going to drive this pilot thing? Like, all right, you want to get representatives from every department that's going to be using your CRM. And department admins that are going to be managing this for their teams should be also considered, if not included, in this, because they're going to be living day in and day out, and they'll provide very valuable feedback. You want to have one or more exec to have that visibility and make sure that the exec team has somebody they can refer to, and if this person does it, then we'll do it as well, right? Regular users. Bring a couple good, old-fashioned regular users into the mix, and bring a low-tech team member. You know, that person that every system is a challenge. Well, if this person can make things work, everybody else should. It's a domino style effect that we're looking for. And bring an adversarial person. Yeah, oh no, not this guy. He says no to everything. Oh, not this. Use the Mikey Likes It approach. If you've ever eaten Life breakfast cereal, they had a brilliant campaign way back when it was like a tiny little GP. And if Mikey likes it, the two brothers will eat it too. Right? Go look it up on YouTube. It's all there. It's actually hyperlinked if you get the PDF version of the slide deck. if you can get the people that are against change to change, the rest will follow through. And they'll provide you with really good information as long as they're good-hearted, shall we say. A few things that you need to calculate when you want to go out and get a new CRM. One of them is, do you have something in place, and can you move your data from A to B? If you cannot move your data from A to B, it's going to be really hard to get this new system going. Is your business in a very specific business vertical served by specific CRMs? Healthcare, car dealerships, financial services are examples I listed there, but yeah, there's some very specific offerings for those verticals, so you don't need to go into a horizontal product and configure it. It's going to be made for your business space. You're going to gain a lot. Do you want on-premise or on cloud, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm going to add commercial product or open source, and that's an internal decision. There's no good or bad answer. It depends of your team, your culture, your experience, and so forth. One thing that I've learned the hard way in a project I've done is that not all CRMs are integrated into all email systems and vice versa. So you want to make sure that you've got that, and your voice system, if you want to build it in, that they work together, and doesn't always naturally fit. And look at your existing tools that you use and make sure that you have the ability to make systems talk, right? We want to simplify things, not worsen things. Need some help? Like, a lot of organizations out there need help, and they don't have the skill set in-house, or they don't have just the number of hours available from existing resources that they can dedicate to this. So figure out what you have, and from there figure out if you need to get somebody to make sure that you don't end up like the dog in the picture here. Personally, I like local resources because it's always easier to navigate things with them. You can get them to train your trainer, or get them to train your team on things. They can run the project because that's what they do for a living typically, and they know where the bear traps are, so they'll save you a lot of growth pains. Now, to select the product, and yes, there's a video on YouTube about CRM in a can, highly recommended. Go have a good chuckle. Build a matrix to select your product. I built one that you can download at this address. You can download it in Excel, in Google Sheets, and you just customize it to your needs. And it's basic, yet it's a really good starting point to figure out what each function of the company may actually require. So take a look at this. I hope it helps. It's also free. Speaking of free, and let's talk about pricing. If you're going to be looking at CRMs, they're sold on a per user or per seat basis. Commonly these days, people buy cloud-based CRMs, and those plans have free plans, which is crippled. It's a crippled plan. You're missing a whole lot, but you can kick the tires for short term or long term to make sure that something that you're trying will actually work with what you got. On the paid plans, they typically give you 30-day free trials, which between you and me can be extended. These are the usual rates on the basic starter plan, and they have limited features, but they're quite usable for smaller teams, smaller organization with limited customization needs. Now, the pro plans, I call them pro because everybody has a different name. They're the whole enchilada kind of plan, and you get a whole bunch of tools, and you can always upgrade from free to basic to pro as your needs or business grows. Never forget that. Enterprise plans, if you have a larger organization and you need some really funky stuff, most vendors can help and come up with something for you. Now that we've done all that legwork and we're going to look at what works for our market and what our needs are, etc., you're going to have to try stuff. You're going to have to take that team that we've talked about earlier and get them to get their hands dirty and have real world data that you can export from an existing system into that CRM to actually kick the tires. Nothing beats reality. And make this typically a sandbox environment to make sure that you're not messing stuff in other systems and you'll regret trying stuff. Replicate your processes. I mean, there's a human limit here to respect, but if you market, attribute lead, prospect, pitch, close, deliver, like that normal workflow, replicate it in whatever tool you want to try to make sure that it does what it needs against your needs. And listen to your pilot team. Get them to break stuff. Tell them to break stuff. Make it crap out. And I'm using lighter language here, but that way you know what works, what doesn't work, what can be fixed, what can be improved, what cannot be fixed. Do we need to go to product number 2, or are we good with this one? So get consensus from your trial team and keep or try number 2 in your selection matrix. Now, let's talk documentation. And this may not be something that you thought you'd hear about today, but it's really important. Document the whole thing before you roll it out. It's don't chance, we'll go. No. Make sure that you answer 80 to 90% of your potential questions before you roll them out. You know your team, you know the humans, you know the processes. Make sure you cover these topics. And build documentation on your implementation. Don't use generic vendor stuff because your users may get confused. Make an internal SharePoint, Google site, a wiki, something, host it, make it important enough to actually have a reference site that your employees, your teams can go to and self-support and read stuff if they have questions, that they don't need to bug the next person. And use the visuals based on your implementations, screen caps with audio, like a video recording of, I'm going to create an order. It's going to take 2 minutes in this video and we're going to show you all the steps. That has a lot of value. Training and rollout. We need to roll this thing out. You have the option of using small bites or going full tsunami. I like small bites personally because it's manageable. If you can do one group or one department at a time, do it. But it's hard because you probably want to do some system cutovers. Fully understand, fully agree. And try to avoid parallel systems. See, I just debunked my own philosophy here. But have a backup plan. You can always roll back if something explodes in your face. Make sure you have that situational plan B and save the whole thing. Now, it doesn't need to be boring. How about you gamify your rollout? Like the team that goes through training and does the internal knowledge test, the quiz with the highest scores or this or that. Well, this team gets X free lunch or something. Make it fun, make it desirable, make it attainable, make it gamify it. It's fun. Let's do this. Do not panic. Do not panic. It's one of those wonderful phrases in life. Things will be fixed. We'll find solutions. Keep your calm. And wish to thank you for bearing with me in this very exciting topic of CRMs. Again, on the website, there's resources and that selection matrix that is available to you for free. If you have any questions, drop me an email, please, or give me a call. I am not an expert on every single system out there. But if you have questions and I can help, don't be shy. Thanks, and have a great day.